Hi friends, you're watching movie reviews with Raghuram. In today's video, I'll be reviewing Hindi movie Haseen Dillruba starring Taapsee Pannu in the role of Rani Kashyap, Vikrant Massey playing Rishabh Saxena or Rishu as he is shortly called in the movie, and Harshvardhan Rane playing Neil Tripathi. The film also stars Aditya Srivastava, who plays the famous character of Abhijit in the famous television series CID. He plays the role of Inspector Kishore Rawat, who is the chief investigating officer of a crime which happens in the movie. The movie has been written by Kanika Dhillon and has been directed by Vinil Matthew. The movie Haseen Dillruba can be classified into the category of a thriller, a crime thriller to be precise. Though the movie is not entirely about crime thriller or crime investigation, but there is a crime twist in the movie, and the investigation of that particular crime takes place throughout the movie. Hence, we can put it into the category of a crime thriller. Apart from being a crime thriller, Haseen Dillruba has shades of love, romance, hatred, everything, almost all the emotions. You have a bit of comedy to enjoy in the movie here and there. You have punch one-liners which you can enjoy and remember. The most important part of the movie Haseen Dillruba is its star cast. I just loved the star cast, which makes the movie really fresh for its viewers. The story also seems to be fresh, and it's engaging, intriguing, and keeps you hooked till the last scene. Harshvardhan Rane, of course, gets a very small role in the movie and has nothing much to do. But whatever minimum role he has been offered to in this movie, he does it to the perfection. He definitely looks good in the scenes in which he appears. Taapsee Pannu, of course, we know what a brilliant actress she is, and she has a typical deceptive face. Taapsee Pannu has a typical deceptive face from which you cannot make out the hidden feelings or the hidden emotions. You need such type of face, such type of facial expressions when you are handling a thriller, because nothing should be revealed on the face and through the expressions. She can readily deceive the viewers by her expressions, keeping them just flat when they need to be expressive, and nothing reveals through her face. This I am telling because Taapsee Pannu is the chief suspect in this crime thriller. And then there is Vikrant Massey. I feel Vikrant Massey is one of the finest actors Bollywood has today. If they use him very effectively, if they give him the roles which really fit his acting, or if Vikrant Massey chooses the roles very intelligently, then he will be one of the best stars in the Bollywood. Give him. So I have seen a lot of Vikrant Massey in the web series and also in the movies. What expressions he brings, terrific expressions. Even when you see in Haseen Dillruba, he is the icing on the cake of this particular movie. He has given different shades of expressions. He looks like changing the expressions, just like changing the shirts or the t-shirts very quickly. In different frames, he has given different expressions, and that makes his acting really matured and interesting to watch. Taapsee Pannu in one of the scenes tells that she has seen her husband Rishu, the character played by Vikrant Massey, in 3 different shades. First, she has seen him as an engineer, and next she has seen him as a husband, and next she has seen him as a lover. So these 3 different shades and 3 different behaviors, she explains what she has seen in her husband, and definitely Vikrant Massey has given many more shades of emotions than this. Vikrant Massey is the pick of the movie. Look for him. And coming to the story and the direction of the movie, it looks good and okay at places. It looks let down at particular instances. You feel not so convinced at particular aspects, especially when you see the climax. I don't want to reveal much from the climax of the movie. That is interesting for certain people, and certain people might feel it unconvincing. But if you see the movie as movie, and if you don't go into the depth of the scenes, definitely you're going to get yourself engaged into the movie, and you will love the track of the movie. If you start finding faults in each and every scenes, there are a lot of flaws. Just like any other movie, there are a lot of flaws in this particular movie. But if you see it as a one-time watch, if you see it as a new movie with fresh faces, a fresh combo of actors packed in this thriller, so then definitely it is engaging, definitely it is interesting, and definitely it is a one-time watch. And definitely if you want new stories and a new way of narration of the stories, and still if you want every part of the movie to be convincing, it is very difficult to make. So different attempt, I can tell. Haseen Dillruba is a different attempt. A fresh look has been given to the movie. It has its shades. Definitely you can give a watch. Coming to the music of the movie, there is nothing much which can be said about the music of the movie. There are no great numbers which you can carry with you and remember for long. There are not even numbers which you can hum for a pretty long time. So forget about the music. Here and there, there are a couple of songs which are foot tapping, which you can enjoy along the length of the movie, but you cannot definitely carry the music along with you. Now I'll come to the plot of the movie. I'll just give a brief synopsis of the movie, which will be a tempting recipe for you people to decide if you want to watch this movie or not. But I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I'll give a brief synopsis of the movie. The film opens with a blast in a small town, Jwalapur, wherein Rishabh Saxena, played by Vikrant Massey, is found dead. His entire body has been demolished due to the blast, and all his body, the entire body has been burnt except a small part of his hand on which he has engraved the name of his wife, Rani, has been left behind with some burns. Rani rushes into the home and cries for her lost husband. Then comes the police investigation. Inspector Kishore Rawat comes into the scene, and the first suspect, of course, will be Rani. The entire movie, Haseen Dillruba, is all about what Rani narrates, what story Rani tells to Inspector Kishore. First of all, Rani claims that she is innocent and she has not killed her husband Rishu, whom she dearly loved. Inspector Kishore doesn't believe her. We can see that Inspector Kishore doesn't believe her at any frame in the entire length of the movie, and he keeps on suspecting her for the murder of her husband, while she tells that it was an accident. Then the story takes us to the flashback as narrated by Rani. Rani is a modern, stylish and ambitious girl who lives in Delhi. She has the definition of her husband to be. She would like a husband who is good looking, handsome, good built, machoistic, a little bit of a person who makes fun, who is romantic, and of course who carries all the shades of a hero. Once after the marriage, when her husband Rishu asks her, what type of husband did you aspire for, she tells, I wanted a husband who has these shades, and Rishu tells, probably you are seeking for 6 different persons. When Rishu goes to see Rani at her home, she gives a bullet list of characters about what exactly she is. She tells she is a graduate who is working in a salon just for fun. She is a girl who doesn't like to do household chores and works. And of course, she is Sushil and a family girl. She also mocks at Rishu and tells that he has got a good package of her. Before the marriage, she even tells her mother that Rishu has bagged a gold in her form. Whereas for Rishu, Rani is love at first sight, and he definitely wants to marry her. Rishu marries Rani and gets her home at Jwalapur. Rani, who was born and brought up in a big city like Delhi, was initially hesitant to go to a small town like Jwalapur, and later she convinces herself to go there. On the day when Rani steps into Jwalapur, it rains heavily, and she doesn't like that, so she thinks that probably Jwalapur doesn't love her. Within few days of her marriage, Rani discovers that Rishu doesn't fit into the definition of her husband material. She even discusses this openly on phone with her mother and aunt. Rani also tells her mother that after trying all sorts, she discovered that Rishu is not fit in any way to be her husband. She would not have preferred this particular marriage, and Rishu is undeserving to her, and she is undeserving to Rishu, and their chemistry is definitely not going to work out. She also goes to tell that in Jwalapur, no flames or no fireworks are going to work out between her and Rishu. Rishu overhears this conversation and gets annoyed. Gradually, Rishu starts distancing from Rani, and she doesn't know why and how. And later, Rishu tells that he had overheard the conversation between her and her mother, and she should not have discussed the personal matters with her family. And Rani tries to do certain things to patch up the equation, and that doesn't work. And Rishu starts maintaining the distance. As if the horrible equation between husband and wife was not enough, in enters Neil Tripathi or Harshvardhan Rane to complete the other vertex of a complicated triangle. Rani suddenly starts feeling that Neil is the ideal person she was looking for, and he fits into the definition of her husband material, and he has all the characteristics of the husband to be. Rani and Neil eventually get attracted to each other. In spite of being a vegetarian, Rani starts cooking non-vegetarian foods because Neil likes it. They go to the level of physical intimacy, and they develop a bond between each other. Rishu is unaware of these things which are happening at his back. Rani doesn't know that Neil is a kind of person who is not committed to the relationship, and when she gets ready to move in with him, he runs away. He eventually runs away. And when Rishu tells that the mutton which Rani has prepared is really tasty, she tells that she had prepared it for Neil because she has started developing feelings for Neil. The change of expressions on those subtle expressions on Vikrant Massi's face in these scenes are worth watching. And when you expect a Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam type of scenes where Vikrant Massi would sacrifice his wife Rani to Neil, and he would go to negotiate that, something different happens. He goes and starts hitting Neil black and blue. And then he tells Neil, you could have brought Rani along with you and you could have saved all our 3 lives. But Rishu also learns that Neil is not committed to the relationship. When Rani realizes that Neil was not committed to the relationship and it was an one-sided affair, she then starts realizing about the worth of her husband Rishu and what mistakes she had done. She starts confessing her mistakes to her husband Rishu, but it is too late. Rishu had already developed negative feelings and a feeling of awkwardness and hatredness towards his wife. So the movie shows the transformation in the characters of Rani and Rishu at the same time. While Rani is going towards the point of realizing her mistakes, Rishu is going in a reverse way by developing hatredness towards Rani, and he is not accepting her apology. And we also find a couple of scenes where Rishu tries to harm Rani intentionally, and when she is harmed and in pain, he is happy. For many of us, this transformation of Rishu also looks unconvincing, but it is human nature. Anything can happen and we need to accept it because it is a movie narration. At a particular point when Inspector Kishore asks Rani if she was not hesitant to have an extramarital affair, she tells no. If I would not have known Neil, if I would have not had an affair with him, I would definitely not known the value of my husband Rishu. Eventually the story takes a soft turn when Rishu accepts the apologies of Rani and both get together. And when things are going in a really good way, when there is a good patch up between husband and wife, Rishu and Rani, when all wrong equations are sorted out, and when the life is going in a good way, when they have planned to sort out all the differences between them, something happens. The story takes a big turn. When the polygraph test also fails to prove that Rani is a culprit, she is let off. There are no evidences to prove that Rani has killed Rishu. There was a speculation that Rani, along with her ex-lover Neil, has killed Rishu in the blast or by planning the blast, but nothing could prove that. But look for that small twist in the tale. As Rani walks out of the police station, she turns back at Inspector Kishore and gives that smile, gives that cute, cunning smile. What does that smile indicate? Does that smile indicate that she has won the battle? Does that smile indicate that she has got through the case? Does that indicate Inspector Rawat couldn't do anything to her nor prove the case against her? Why did Rani smile? Was she really a culprit? Where is Neil? Did Neil and Rani plot that blast in which Rishu was killed? Was Rishu a soft target? Was the patch-up between Rishu and Rani false? Or was Rani really innocent? It doesn't look like she was innocent, doesn't it? So friends, I'm not going to give you any spoilers ahead. I think I have given a synopsis which is really tempting enough for you people to watch this movie. And yes, I forgot to mention Dinesh Pandit. Who is this Dinesh Pandit? Dinesh Pandit is a crime novel writer in the movie. He is not shown, but Rani reads a lot of novels, almost every novel written by Dinesh Pandit. On the first meeting with Rishu itself, Rani tells that Dinesh Pandit writes those crime plots so beautifully that he can create murders in small towns. And I'll leave things for your imagination. Small town is Jwalapur, where Rani comes over from Delhi to Jwalapur after wedding Rishu. And Rani is a reader of Dinesh Pandit's novel, The Crime Thrillers, where the crimes are set in small places like Jwalapur. Has Dinesh Pandit's novel really influenced Rani to commit some crime? Or does Dinesh Pandit have anything to do in this movie? Does Dinesh Pandit help to solve this mystery? Don't worry, you are going to get the answers for each and every query of yours when you watch this movie, Haseen Dillruba. What's interesting is, though the movie is unconvincing, though the movie gets sloppy, slow, let down in between, it still makes you to wait till the last moment, because you, as a curious viewer, want to know what exactly has happened. What has happened to whom? Why did Rishu die? Why did poor Rishu die in the blast? What was that blast all about? And you definitely want to know if Rani is a face-off. I liked Haseen Dillruba as a one-time watch. If you happen to watch Haseen Dillruba, kindly let me know how you felt watching this movie by leaving your comments in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video. If you loved my video, kindly like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll catch up with you all in my next video with yet another movie review. Until then, do take care. Goodbye. Namaste.